So Goodman went through the first few months of just regular drug-resistant TB treatment, but unfortunately his sputum cultures just weren't reflecting his clinical state. So what I mean by that is that his sputum cultures remained persistently positive every single month, even though we knew he was taking his treatment. Eventually, after about 6 to 8 months or so of regular treatment, we realized that he would require something additional to what we usually provide to people with MDR-TB. Goodman was lucky enough to be one of those patients who we identified early enough to be eligible for the new drug bedaquiline. And he received bedaquiline within his regimen to strengthen it, to give him a better chance of cure.
I had just come into Kailicha. I had done some short-term work but was covering for Jenny when she was on maternity leave, and was a little lost, finding my way around. And one of the first patients they asked me to see was Goodman, because we were looking at his chart and his cultures had come back positive. I felt a little bit sick at what was happening to him, because I didn't want to tell him, all this work you've done, your culture is positive again, and was really concerned about what we were going to be able to offer him medically. The field of drug-resistant TB treatment has been stagnant for decades, and we had 2 new drugs then that were available, bedaquiline and delaminid, but they were only theoretically available. There were very few people living with the disease who'd actually received them. We sat down with Goodman and I said to him, there is a new drug that nobody in South Africa has gotten before, but I'd like to try to get it for you. And he said, okay.
After Goodman was able to access delaminid, his sputum cultures actually did become negative, and it appeared that the treatment was working finally. He was so happy about it. Unfortunately, after I returned from my maternity leave, his sputum cultures had become positive again. This was a case that I had never come across before. In all my years working in Kailicha, I just didn't know what to do with this situation. We'd given every single new drug available and still it wasn't working. So eventually one day Busi and I had to go and have that really difficult talk with him, which was to say, Goodman, you really need to sit down now and find who it is that you need to support you through this time. And he was one of those patients who used to ask me outright, well, what does that mean? Am I just gonna die? And I had to say, well, yes, I think so. And Goodman, being Goodman, just said, well, that's not good enough. That's not what I want. I can't accept that. Is there nothing else you can do? Can't you cut it out? And to be fair to him, that was actually an option then.